Hi everyone, it's January 21st, 2010. I'm Dwight Schmuck, and this is the Schmuck Look, number 2 for today. And this time I want to talk about some plant closures. GM has announced and confirmed it will close its Belgian plant at its European arm Opel, cutting 2,300 jobs. They're knocking off the Opel, the Vauxhall, and of course the Saab. Not enough buyers, you understand. Well, I'm beginning to wonder about this, and especially in light that the Kraft takeover of Cadbury is probably a sure thing. I'm wondering if this is not the new business paradigm. You buy something because, it's a competitor, and then a few years later you shut it down. No more competition, no more lost sales to that competition. That they made a better product doesn't seem to matter to these executives. They made a good product doesn't matter to these executives. It's how much immediate profit can we make this minute. That's what matters to these executives. The fact that they are consigning, 2,300 people in Belgium aren't going to have jobs in a few months. That's 2,300 families that are now going to not have so much, not be able to buy so much, not be able to live a good life anymore. And they wonder, these executives, they wonder why people don't like them. Gee golly, there could be a reason you bought this because 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you knew it was a good product. Oh, you had to have it. And, we got a ton of money because we're this mega corporation, Kraft, GM. It doesn't matter the name. It's what they do. They run out, they leverage the hell out of something so they can buy it. Because, it's a good product and it's got a lot of customers and a lot of happy repeat customers. Now we'll cut some jobs and we'll cut the hell out of the product and then we'll close it. We won't sell it to somebody who could make it a good product again because, that would be competition. We don't want that. We want to own everything. Why, that's our destiny. That's our due. We should own everything, then shut it down. Because then we'll have everything, and the rest of you, you'll have what falls off the table, and if it hits the floor before the central vacuum sucks it up, you can have it. But don't get in the way of our central vacuum. My goodness, that would be wrong. That's scraps. You can't have that. That's exactly what the hell is happening here, and has happened, and will continue to happen, folks. It's the truth. These executives need to go out and work with their hands a little bit instead of their heads, because their heads are not doing a good job. They're not. We've had one panic after another, which is artificial panics, I should say. The swine flu. Here, let's get everybody all hyped up, create a demand for a medicine we don't quite have yet, but we're working on it, and, if we create a big enough demand and, get the government to swing in behind it that you have to take this, why, we could make a hell of a lot of money over something that, really isn't that big anyway, but we can make a lot of money. And that's the important thing, not whether we can actually do anything beneficial for society as a whole or for people in general, but we can make a lot of money real damn quick. And that's the important part. And if somebody dies because, we didn't test this thing properly, some worker bee made a mistake, we'll fire him and it'll be okay. But we made a lot of money. That's the important thing. Yeah, except maybe once you've fired everybody and nobody has any money left, who are you going to sell this stuff to, boys? Huh, kids? What you going to do then? Oh, Didn't your business school teach you that too? Huh. When people don't have any money, they don't buy things? Can you imagine that? It works like that, kids. It really does. Running out and buying everything, the Vauxhall, the Opel, the Saab, it was a really good thing when you did it. I'm beginning to wonder now, weren't you looking down the road at closing them down? Is Kraft not looking at closing down Cadbury? At least the European operations, because, well, Lord knows we could make that all over here, and then, of course, we'll move those factories to China or India because of the labor costs, and eventually we'll make everything for nothing, and you will, what? Because if nobody has any money because you've laid everybody off, yeah, like I said, they didn't teach you that, did they? I wonder why. Maybe there's a failure somewhere just waiting to spring up. Yeah, that's right. The taxpayers will bail you out, right, GM? Except if there's nobody working, there's nobody paying taxes. And if nobody's paying the taxes, how in the hell can they possibly bail you out again? I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's the Schmuck Look. Something to think about, you brain trusts. Have a good day. Peace, everyone.